Hi, my name is Dan with Cali, and today we're going to show you how to install a gasket on this 4th gen Tacoma. For the gasket, the hardware that you will need is a 5-inch, half-inch bolt, a plate washer, the associated washers, 2 3/8 snap nuts, 3 half-inch carriage bolts with associated nuts and washers, 3 M10 bolts with associated washers, 2 3/8 button head bolts, 8 3/8 carriage bolts with the associated nuts and washers. So for tools, we'll need a 3/4 inch socket, a 17mm socket, a 14mm socket, a 7/32 Allen key, a ratchet wrench, a 3/4 inch box end wrench, a 9/16 box end wrench, and a 12mm box end wrench. So now we're going to be installing our gas tank skid. It comes in 2 parts, and we're going to be using some gas tank mounting points. First, we're going to want to loosen this gas tank strap here. Leave everything else tight, don't touch them. Loosen this piece here, and we're going to be installing one of our brackets. And then we're going to install it loosely, and then move on to the next one. Do the same thing with that one. That way you're not having to support the gas tank on its own while you're putting these brackets up. All right, now we're going to be putting the skid plate together. We're going to be placing the upper plate into the lower plate like so. We're going to place the 1/2-inch carriage bolts through the front side, placing the washer, placing the nut, and I'm going to be doing that for all 3 holes. So the first bracket we're going to install is this one. Looks like this. And we're going to place it in this orientation using a M10 bolt that's already in the frame. You can either use the one that's in the frame already, or you can use one that we supply. So now we're going to place the bracket in between the drive shaft guard and the mounting plate. And now we'll go ahead and throw this into place, just enough to make sure it doesn't fall out. And then we'll move on to the next one. Now we're at the rear of the gas tank, the rear of the truck. We're going to be inserting a 1/2-inch bolt through this hole. You just need to be aware there is a wire loom on top. So when you are placing the plate nut on top, you slide it beneath the wire loom. And now we're going to take our bracket and place it like so in this direction. I'm going to go through plate washer, place a washer on top. Again, trying to avoid that wire loom, and then putting your bolt on and lightly threading it so the bolt is still loose. So next we're going to be removing the bolt to the middle gas tank strap, and then we're going to be placing this bracket underneath it. So we're going to take our 14mm socket, loosen this bolt. So now we're going to place the bolt through here. Loosely thread that back into place, just enough so we have a little play. Sorry. Next, we're going to do this last gas tank strap. We're going to go ahead and remove this 10mm bolt, again with the 14mm socket. Go ahead and take this bolt off. We're going to be placing the bracket like this. So go ahead and put the bolt through. And then you have your gas tank strap. Go ahead and place your socket on your bolt. It's a little easier if you have an extension. Get it started. There we go. Next, we're going to be removing this gas tank support using our 12mm socket, and then we'll be replacing this with a different bracket. For this support bracket we're going to be installing, we need to put our 3/8 snap nuts into place. And then in this orientation, we're going to be reinstalling these two M8s. And then we're going to, again, have it slightly loose, have some play. So when we install the gas tank, we have some room. So before we install the gas tank skid, we're going to want to go ahead and bend the heat shield down at the bottom to give us plenty of room for that gas skid. So when you're installing your skid plate, you're going to want to start with this front bracket. And get that thread started and through the end hole and through this bracket just to hold it up so we can get the rest of everything into place. So after that, we're going to do the washer and then our lock nut. We're going to loosely tighten the threads on this, so there's still room to play. Perfect. I'm going to be doing that to all 5 mounts. And again, same with this mount. Going through the hole. We got our washer and our lock mount. Perfect. Next, we're going to be installing some more of these 3/8 carriage bolts into the middle gas plate. And you want to make sure that all these bolts are still loose to give you room to wiggle this plate around to get these carriage bolts into place. Now that we have the skid plate in place, we are going to go ahead and tighten all of the 3/8 bolts first, and then we're going to move on to the M10s and 1/2 inch to the mounting plates into the body. and that's to install your gas skid. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as visiting CaliRaisedLED.com.